I learned about this thing called incidentdatabase.ai, which is where all the things that AI has screwed up, large and small, that's where they go. And someone reports them there and is gathering all that information.
Welcome to episode 57 of It's About Data. We're joined by data and AI industry analyst Paige Roberts. This episode was recorded at Data Day Texas 2026.
Well, Paige Roberts, it's good to hook up with you again. I've known how far do we go? We go back to the. We go back to the big data days.
Okay. 20 years maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of scary, but anyway.
I feel a little bit left out. But okay.
Give us a little bit of your background. I mean, I obviously knows, but tell us basically.
So way back in the 90s, I started. I used to teach at the School for the Deaf a little while, a place from here, and when I switched to a tech career, I thought beginning programming, and I went and I was like, I love writing, so I'll go get a job as a tech writer. Well, I walked into a tiny little startup where everybody wears a whole bunch of hats. I think I was employee 20 at Data Junction, and I read the manual, and then they were like, well, you've read the manual, now you know more than most of the people calling us. So get on the phones, do tech support. So I did that, and then I did QA, and then the web designer quit, and I did that for a while, learned a couple of programming languages, and they were like, well, we got an opening in engineering, and you've been helping shape how we design this ETL product for ages, and go program it. So I did that for about 5 years. And I went off and did consulting, building pipelines and stuff for folks like the state of North Carolina and things like that, and did competitive migrations for a company for a while. And then and then they called me back and they were like, we need somebody to do marketing. And I was like, marketing? Really? But they were like, well, we have lots of people who are really smart technical people. We have lots of people who can write really well. Yeah. We have no one who can do both. So I started that, and even though I've gone back to doing consulting and product management and a whole bunch of other stuff, I almost always end up back in some kind of product marketing, because in the tech field, it's all data management
because
tech.
Because being able to communicate.
Because I'm the one person who understands what the heck it's doing, and can explain why you need it.
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's where I'm at.
Well, and it's interesting because even now
I'm independent.
Well, and I mean, even now we've got AI to summarize documentation, but people
humans have to
who
understand
can do this.
it. Yeah.
Well, and it's also at least for now, the AI I guess can do online sales, but most enterprise sales are people calling you on the phone and taking you to lunch and explaining things, and then the person on the CTO on the other side says, that's awesome. What can we agree on in terms of terms to actually pay for this thing? And then how can we get it onboarded? And which people are going to come show up and explain to my team how to do this thing? And AI cannot do that yet because it's not a human, right?
And in fact, it's so many sales happen that way. I can remember back in the day, I was in the Center of Excellence for a new big data analytics capability. And we had technically convinced them. I mean, we blew away the competition. And then the guy from Snowflake took their CTO out to lunch.
Yep.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they went golfing together, and we lost a sale.
Yeah, and it's that combination of it's the human touch plus the technical inspiration. People we're humans, we don't buy strictly on reading the instructions.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just the technical features that sell it.
Right. So tell us basically, you've been we're doing some interesting work at a project with Anaconda where you're talking about AI governance. You want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I've been independent for about, I guess, 6-8 months now.
Okay.
And one of the first projects I got was my old O'Reilly acquiring editor, Jess Haberman, now works at Anaconda.
Yes.
And she's like, I really need a good web page on AI governance.
Yeah.
So I did a ton of research. I mean, lots and lots of research, and piled it all into this web page. And she's like, wait, no. I mean, I think I wrote a book.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need a web page. I'm like, okay, right. So I went back and trimmed it all out and everything. But in the process, I learned so much, including I learned about this thing called instance incidentdatabase.ai, which is where all the things that AI has screwed up, large and small, that's where they go, and someone reports them there and is gathering all that information.
Yeah.
And I was just horrified.
This is
in
kind of
many
like
ways.
Snopes for the AI age.
Kind of, yeah. I think it was also a matter of these are the things that AI can do
Yeah.
that are bad.
Yeah.
And I had I was telling you, I had a really long conversation in the bar, which is at any conference, that's the best place to do it.
Yeah.
With Mark Bogman, and he's one of the guys that helped create the TOGAF framework. He's a data architect. And we were talking about the absolute necessity of a really good AI governance model, and maybe even a certification that says this AI model is safe to use.
Right.
And maybe a level that's like, this one can mask PII data and it's safe to use with healthcare data. It won't, accidentally give it to everybody in the universe or something
Right,
like that,
right,
which has
right.
happened. And that, we kind of decided that we should write a book.
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing to me, working in the data space for a while, is that 2018, 19, 20, companies were just so cautious with data, enterprises especially, smaller companies less so, but it's like
Risk
they have
averse.
all these risk management practices, and all of a sudden, AI comes out, and they're all rushing headlong into it, and they just like threw their whole playbook out the window because they were so afraid of falling behind. And then you start getting these incidents out of that, right?
Yes.
It's just totally
Yes.
wild.
If you stop guarding against risk, weirdly
yeah,
enough,
exactly.
bad things happen.
With a new technology that we don't understand, where the vendors, frankly, like OpenAI didn't really have any security practices at the time. We're just
No.
going to trust them. to
And
take care of our
they're
data.
completely unscrupulous. There's a lawsuit going on because they decided it was cheaper to pirate everybody's copyrighted work than to pay for it.
Yeah, it's like the legal Wild West. It's the practices Wild West. It's
Yes.
just crazy.
Well, and I guess that was the decision, was that we spend a lot of time talking about it. We probably could have been there all night.
Yeah.
But what the problem right now is it is new tech.
Yeah.
And there are no rules.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says this is how you're supposed to do it. I mean, we're starting to get some legislation like the EU AI Act and a few things like that. And we already had some data protections like the GDPR and the CCPA and all the, we had a few, but we don't have enough. We need a standard to say this is a safe AI and this is not a safe AI.
Right.
And I think that's lacking. I mean, we just don't have it because it's too new.
And one of the crazy things about this type of legislation, I'm going to compare to the situation with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in 1999. So basically, that was drafted at a time when we really didn't even understand what the internet was. And there are some good things about it, and there's some really bad things about it, and it hasn't been really replaced or updated. And the danger right now is that we do the same thing. We just pass a law, and then that's in place for the next 50 years, but it doesn't really cover what AI becomes. And
It's
I'm
kind of like
hoping
So
the
it's
unknown
almost-
unknowns.
It's incumbent on us as the people who know the space to set the standard and say, this is what it should be.
Yes.
And then, because the people making the laws, they don't know the tech. They don't know what it's capable of.
Yeah.
And it's to show them, it's look, 30% of this database is full of places where where an AI gave away data.
Right.
Where it deleted somebody's production database, where it, put somebody's third grade teacher into a video, having sex naked with somebody. These are all different kinds of violations, but they're all ways that we need to put something in place to keep them from happening. Or even if I want to ethically use AI, how do I know that if that AI model is ethical or not? There's no standard that says that.
Yeah, interesting. Like no good housekeeping seal of approval. And
Yes.
And what kind of
And
data
so
you're
even
selling
if
there.
I want to be a good citizen, I can't right now. I have no idea how.
Well, put it this way, I mean, I think there's a lot. I mean, and this is kind of like trying to talk about AI governance. It's kind of like boil the ocean. But I think what I want to do here is kind of zero in on just in your preliminary research, and obviously what you're telling me, this is the start of something bigger.
Yeah.
But in your initial research, what was one of the counterintuitives that really struck out at you that you didn't expect or just surprised you?
Well, I think one of the things, it wasn't so much of a surprise as just a, oh, moment, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the video editing software that uses AI,
Yeah.
videos have a perfectly good capability to embed metadata. They have a massive amount of space in that blob format where you could say when it was taken,
Right.
who took it, what, you know, all that kind of information. You could just as easily put it was modified by this AI on this date, this is what it changed, that sort of thing. And I mean, right now, if I rob a bank in front of a video camera, I can wave and go on because you can't use that in court.
Right.
Because that could have been AI generated.
Well, it's funny, there is a technology approach to this that started to emerge even a
Exactly.
couple of years ago, which is you take the raw footage and you cryptographically sign it with a key that's in the camera. Now, that will not be in the
That's what I'm
process
saying.
footage, but the person, if they're asked for it, can present it and say, here's the original footage. It's cryptographically signed. You can see it was produced by this camera on this date. And yes, I cut it to edit it, which you always do, but here's the original, like if you need proof.
Imagine the scale of that
Uncut,
task,
but that's
though.
that is the thing that we need, and we
Yeah.
also kind of need that with AI because right
Yeah.
now almost everyone is using AI for everything from editing to smoothing, and if that's all you did, that's still legitimate. You know, that still should have that timestamp that says all I did was cut out these 3 seconds
Right.
and smooth out the transition.
Yeah, someone can verify it, right? They can
Yes,
see the
it should be
original if
verifiable.
there's any question about
Yes.
the validity
Yes,
of that
and I think
footage.
that the aha moment was that exists.
Yeah.
Why don't we use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a huge question.
Well, I think to me, I'm seeing this as kind of a question of logistics, and what this sort of reminds me of is the the whole myth of Santa Claus. And when I was about, I think this sort of gave a clue in terms of where I was going to end up going with my mind. But like, I think it was like around 5 years old, I thought, how the heck can Santa Claus get, number one, he's on a sled that has no motorized, propulsion and nothing that would, make it lighter than air. And number two, how can he visit every single chimney in the world
one
in 24
night.
hours? And I'm thinking for what you're talking about, let's cryptographically, encode every video. I'm thinking like, do you know the
Except
enormity
we're
of that
already
chance?
doing it. Except we're already doing it for every raw video that's made.
Okay.
I mean, it's already because somebody said, "Hey, we should do this," and now every device that records video is doing
Really?
it.
Okay.
So why can't we do the same thing with an AI?
Okay.
If you modify video, you have to put
Okay.
the stamp in that says this is what I did.
Yeah.
This is when I did it, et cetera. I mean,
You have to show the
it's
source,
just a
basically.
decision.
Right.
It's pretty
right.
much, I mean, it's a decision and a motivation. That's the thing, is
Right.
if people were not motivated to
Yeah.
do that, if there wasn't a financial or legal incentive
Right,
of any
right.
kind, it never would have become a standard.
Right.
Well, and it's interesting because Tony, you said that your background is in journalism originally, and that's where you started learning to write.
Yeah.
And journalism went through a lot of the same things. So after the printing press, I mean, there's still a lot of yellow journalism, frankly, but
Well, it's even more so these
Even
days.
more now
it took
because the Truth Act went away.
but we started developing standards, right? It took a while,
Yeah.
but the journalistic profession had to develop standards of documentation.
Right.
And that included things like you can have anonymous sources, but they still need to be verified. You keep those very,
Right.
very secret, but like internally, they have
Somebody
a process
verifies.
to check to know
Yeah.
that that's real information.
Right.
Yeah.
And we need to do the same thing.
There has
for
to be something.
AI.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like you said, it's the Wild West, and that's a major problem. And I think the other problem is technical. I mean, that's
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
legal, like governance level problem, but the other problem is technical, and it's not new. I mean, we're building all of these AIs on a data foundation,
Yeah.
and everybody's data foundation is crap.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the data foundation.
We
yet.
haven't, no.
So
I mean,
like,
that's what's just so amazing about this discussion is how we're just getting so focused. But go ahead.
well, I mean, that's almost like the legal certification level. But I mean, the foundation level is I have to be able to trust that the data is not false,
Yeah.
that it wasn't stolen, that I have the right to use it, that it's not somebody's secret data, that I'm stealing your identity or your healthcare information. It's like, or that it's de-identified, so I can. If I want to create a model that identifies cancer in X-ray images, I need to make sure that the data about everybody who has cancer
Right.
is not included in that data set. And that requires some really data governance.
Yeah.
So some
Yeah.
really
I
strict
think that's
data
basically
quality.
probably our subject for another episode in terms of bringing data governance and AI governance together.
That is. It's
Yeah.
like, it's almost like you have to, I think AI governance needs to be data governance needs to be the foundation for AI governance.
Sure,
It's like we
sure.
have to learn. But I think one of the things that is a big deal that I learned when I did all that research, and also that we've had in some of our talks here at Day to Day, is governance is enablement. It's like
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
having the brakes, you can drive fast safely. Someone said
Or
that.
there's a lock on your
Patrick.
car, therefore you can take it to different places, right? If
Yes.
if it doesn't have locks, then you have to worry about people breaking into
Right.
the car.
Exactly.
And if you have these guardrails that say everything in here is safe, you can go really fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We can go on for hours,
Yes, we
days
could.
with this
It's a great
discussion, but
start.
like
Yeah.
any sort of closing thought that you
Yeah.
have for now, and with the assumption that we're going to pick this back up again, because I
Yeah.
want, as you get further into your book project, we want to definitely revisit this. But any other final thoughts at this point that you'd like to leave us with?
I think the big thing is think about it.
Yeah.
Think about ethics when you go to use your AI. Make sure that, almost everybody's using it for something.
Yeah.
Make sure that whatever you're using it for doesn't hurt somebody
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's pretty basic, you would think.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't think about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to add a closing thought as well, which is this stuff is so new that anyone who's really researching and writing about it is helping to define it. And so I'm excited to see you do that over time. So
Me
what comes
and
out.
Bart Bachman. I'm not going to do it alone.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
maybe-
but-
and we're kind of looking around for a couple of other folks. Like he's
Yeah.
got an AI ethicist and stuff in mind.
Sounds good. Great.
Very nice.
Paige, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
From our early days when you were actually one of the first people back in the good old days of Twitter. You were one of the first data people that I followed.
Oh,
And
that's neat. I
yeah.
think Merv Adrian was my first.
Yeah, well, Merv was. You were in the class of with
He's-
Merv,
he did-
the late Neil Reagan.
Well, and he did those great Follow Fridays. And
Oh,
you just
yes,
had to follow
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Paige, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Let's have some good barbecue
Good talking
down
to
here.
you.
Talk to you too. Great to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.